All right, let's dive into Arcane Orion's classic novel, The Vendor of Sweets. We're going to break down this incredible story about a man whose whole world, this really quiet, principled life he's built, gets completely turned upside down when his very modern son comes home.
So the book kicks off with this single sentence, and honestly, it is the key to understanding everything about our main character, Jagan. It's his entire philosophy in a nutshell, this belief that if you can achieve discipline over your body, you can master your soul. And that belief is really the foundation for the first part of the story. This is where we get to know Jagan, a man who lives by a super strict, self-imposed code in the famous fictional town of Malgudi.
See, Jagan isn't just some guy who sells sweets. He's a true disciple of Mahatma Gandhi. I mean, his entire world is built around these principles of simplicity and discipline. He avoids things like sugar and salt because he believes nature provides everything we need. He even spins his own cloth every single day. That's the level of commitment we're talking about. So you get this picture of a guy whose life is just perfectly orderly and controlled, you know? He runs his business, he reads his holy book, he lives this very simple life. But, and this is the big but, for all that control he has over his own life, the one thing that's slipping away is his relationship with his son, Molly. And that right there, that's the crack in the foundation that's about to break everything wide open. Okay, so Jagan's got this perfectly balanced life, and it is about to get completely shattered. The whole thing gets kicked into motion by the return of his son. The conflict really gets going when Molly just up and quits college. He has zero interest in following a traditional path. Instead, he announces this brand new dream. He wants to be a writer. And to do that, he insists he has to go to America. And guess who he persuades to fund the entire trip? Yep, his dad. So off Molly goes. And for years, there's basically nothing. Just a few airmail letters here and there. Jagan is left totally in the dark, just trying to imagine his son's life in this far-away country. Then, boom. After 5 years, word comes that Molly has finally come home. You can just imagine Jagan rushing to the train station, right? He's probably so excited, maybe a little nervous. But the son who steps off that train, well, he's not the boy who left. And here's the kicker, he's not by himself. He introduces this woman, Grace, who is half Korean, half American, as his wife. Now, for a guy like Jagan, who is so deeply steeped in tradition, this is a total bombshell. A foreign daughter-in-law? A marriage he didn't even know happened? This is the exact moment his carefully ordered world just begins to completely unravel. And this is where you really see the core conflict of the book. It's so much more than just a family drama. What we're seeing is a head-on collision between two completely irreconcilable ways of life. I mean, look at this. It lays it all out so clearly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got Jagan's world, tradition, spiritual wealth, simplicity. And on the other, you have Molly's world, American suits, business plans, technology, and ambition. It's East versus West, tradition versus modernity, and the battlefield is Jagan's own house. And Molly has totally bought into this new way of thinking. He preaches it like it's a new religion, and it's basically a direct assault on everything his father believes in. For Molly, tradition isn't a source of strength. It's just an obstacle standing in the way of progress. So this clash of ideas isn't just talk. Oh no, it's about to get very, very real. Molly finally unveils his big business idea, and it's a plan that could not be more different from his father's way of thinking. It's pretty out there. So what is it? After all this buildup, what is this revolutionary business that Molly brought back from America, the one he thinks is going to change India forever? Yeah, you heard that right. A story-writing machine. Not a publishing house, not a new literary journal, a machine. An imported gadget to automate the art of storytelling. Can you believe the irony? He goes to America to learn how to be a writer, and he comes back with a plan to make writers totally obsolete. For Jagan, this idea is it's more than absurd. It's an offense. It's taking something beautiful and soulful like storytelling and turning it into a cold commercial product. And the worst part, Molly actually expects his father, a man who treasures the ancient epics, to fund the whole thing. And the price tag for this dream? 51,000 American dollars. That is the amount of money Molly demands from his father to get started. I mean, just think about that. It's a staggering sum that represents Jagan's entire life's work,
earned through decades of patient, traditional business.
So what does Jagan do? Well, of course, he refuses. There is no way he can bring himself to invest in something that so violently contradicts his own values. And this refusal is what pushes us into the final act of the story, where things get resolved in a really quiet but profound way.
Predictably, without his father's money, the whole business venture just collapses before it can even start. And then things go from bad to worse. Molly gets arrested for having illicit alcohol in his car and gets thrown in jail.
So his son, his only child, is in disgrace. The news gets delivered by Jagan's cousin, the family's go-between. And everyone, absolutely everyone, expects Jagan to rush to the rescue, right? Hire lawyers, smooth things over. But that is not what he does. Not at all.
Instead of fighting his son's battle, Jagan chooses to detach. He makes sure Grace has a ticket to get back home. He even learns they were never actually married, and then he simply walks away. He gives up his business, his home, his worldly duties. It's a form of nonviolent protest, but it's also something much more personal. And this is the really important part. Jurgen doesn't see this as a defeat. For him, this final act of letting go is the victory. It's the ultimate liberation from all the things that tie him down: his son, his money, his business. By giving everything up, he has finally, in his own way, conquered the self. And that's the powerful question the novel leaves you with, isn't it? In a world that's always changing, what does it truly mean to win? Is it to adapt and compete the way Molly wants to? Or is it to find freedom by letting go of the fight altogether?